All right, so it is 9:30. We will get us started in the interest of time. Welcome, everyone. Happy soon-to-be September. We're dangerously close. I don't know how that happened, but it did. Getting ready for fall weather. It's a little cooler here where I'm at in kind of the northern aspect of Colorado Springs. So I'm feeling like, apple cider and hot chocolate are just around the corner. So good morning, everyone. We will call this meeting to order. We do have a quorum established. So we'll just go around the room very briefly and do brief introductions. My name is Dayana Rumsey. I am the current sitting chair of the Mobility Coordinating Committee, and I will popcorn it over to Kristen.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kristen. I'm with Goodwill of Colorado.
And Jody?
Good morning, everyone. Jody Barker, Director of the Area Agency on Aging.
Fantastic. Welcome. Aaron.
Aaron Sombrero, Chief Operating Officer, Silverkey Senior Services, second chair of this committee.
Fantastic. Jessica.
Good morning, Jess Bechtel, PPACG Transportation Planner.
Wonderful. Kathy. Oh, maybe we missed Kathy. Mark.
Mark Bowers with Fountain Valley Senior Center.
Welcome. Jacob. Nope. Jacob, are you there?
I am now. I was playing with the settings because apparently it shifted it to a different speaker. So I'm
No
here.
worries. Well, welcome. Melissa.
So Melissa Martz, Pikes Peak Area Agency on Aging. And if someone can confirm for me if they see Ben Liu on the call, he is going to be our Mobility Vista. And I guess Jared, maybe could you confirm if you could see Ben on the call?
Ben has not joined the call yet.
Okay, well, thanks. So if and when he does, we can introduce him. And we also have another Vista, Chris Leroy, but he's on his way to meet me, so I don't know if he's on the call yet either. Is he on the call, Jared?
He has not joined either.
Okay, that's all right. Well, I will just leave it at that and then turn it back over to Madam Chair Rumsey. Thanks.
Thank you. Rosa.
Good morning. I'm Rosa McCormick with the City of Fountain. I'm the ADA and Transit Coordinator.
Fantastic. Welcome, everyone. And then the incomparable Jared, who is making sure that everything runs smoothly. The man, the myth, the legend. Okay, so we have a motion. Well, we don't yet. We need to approve the agenda as it currently sits. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as it currently sits?
Kristen Amundsen, motion to approve.
Thank you. And do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so we have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as it currently sits. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? All right, seeing nor hearing any opposition, the agenda will be moved to approve as it currently sits. Wonderful. We move on to the approval of the minutes from the July meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the July meeting?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Aaron. Do I have a second?
Kristen, second.
All right, so I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the July meeting as they currently sit. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? All right, seeing nor hearing no opposition to the approval of the minutes for the July meeting as they currently sit, those minutes are moved and approved. All right, on to public comments and presentations. Do we have any public comments or presentations?
So, Madam Chair, I'll ask that anyone who's not an MCC member or a member of this PPACG staff to please use the raise hand function if they'd like to provide public comment. In the meantime, I'll just let the committee know that we did not receive any advance requests for public comment, and we did not receive any written public comment that we would have distributed to the committee members in advance of this meeting. As I've gone through that, I do not see any hands raised. So, Madam Chair, I think we can move forward at your discretion.
All right, thank you so much. All right, any action items?
I do not believe so.
Okay, and no membership appointments that I'm aware of. All right, fantastic. Community guest and provider presentations. Potentially when our Vista member arrives. Okay, fair enough. We will move on to item number 8, bylaw changes for people. Oh, go ahead.
Madam Chair, I was just going to say, we do have one of our Vista members who has joined us, Christopher Leroy.
Wonderful.
If you wanted to have him introduce himself, I know he's gone through the introductions a couple times already.
That would be fantastic. Christopher, would you like to introduce yourself to the committee?
Hey, yes. Good morning, everyone. Forgive me. I just want to make sure. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. Yes, my name is Chris Leroy. I'm originally from Raleigh, North Carolina, relocated out in beautiful Colorado Springs. And yes, I'm the new Visa. I will be working with Dolly to help with volunteer outreach and try to get more interactivity with that.
Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning. All right. Yeah, you're welcome.
Deanna?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Oh, now you're cutting in now.
Mobility. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me go back. We'll be having to see some of the folks on the
I didn't catch most of that. Did anyone else hear a majority of that? No, I'm seeing some heads shaking.
He won't be attending the MCC regularly. He's on today, so checking back into unmute.
Okay. I think what she was sharing was that Ben will not be able to join us today. Fair enough. Okay. So then we will move on to, I guess my question would be, is Chris going to be speaking to us about the Vista, or are we is that part of the community guest and provider presentations, or will that be addressed somewhere else?
My understanding is just because we don't have it anywhere else on the agenda, that the community guest provider presentations is probably the best place for that.
Okay.
While I have all the confidence in Chris, he is on day 2, so I'm not quite sure we want to put him on the spot quite yet.
Sure.
And I think he's going to be working more
Fair.
volunteers than on the mobility side.
All right. That's totally fair. All right. Well, Chris, then we will hold off and we will check back in with you in about a month. We'll give you about 4 weeks to ramp up, and then you can share with us how it's going.
I'll be ready.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. All right.
And Madam Chair, Ben,
Yes.
Ben, who was introduced by Melissa as the Vista volunteer on the mobility side, he'll be doing the mobility training program, and so that would that'll be an excellent presentation as well once he's gotten started. But literally, this is about their first week, so we'll give them some time.
Fair enough. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right. So moving on to item number 8, we have the bylaw changes for PPACG committees. Is it carpool updates or carepool updates?
Carepool.
Carepool, okay. Continuing to seek a second vice chair, the CASTA conference, and then driver appreciation coming up in December. Melissa, are you able to unmute? And I wonder if we can hear you a little bit better now, and we can kind of discuss the bylaw changes for the PPACG committee.
I apologize, guys. Can you hear me any better?
Yes,
A little
fantastic.
bit?
Yes.
And so again, I might defer this to Jared. Basically, the PPACG, we have, as an organization, gone through some updates overall with our bylaws, and there are some changes that have been made, just procedural types of things. However, what you'll remember is that there was some pretty significant overhauling of the bylaws for MCC that Laura, Deanna, myself actually worked on quite a long time ago, and Kristen, I think too, because the MCC bylaws look a little different and were pretty robust in comparison to the PPACG other committee bylaws. So what I'm going to share today is just a heads up that we'll be getting together with Jared, and most likely the MCC bylaws are going to look significantly different because we want them all to align and look the same across the agency. So just be staying tuned for that. And it'll probably take about 4 months before we get that all nailed down. So maybe around the same time that we do driver appreciation, we'll kind of close out with the bylaws as well. So, and Jared, I'll turn it over to you if you have any other comments to share about that.
Sure. And as Melissa said, it's relatively kind of just standardizing across how all the different committees operate. Because people like me and Melissa and a few other people, we bounce between several committees that we manage or operate, and keeping track of what some do and some don't. Probably the biggest change at the board level, which is now filtering down into committees, is the adoption of what's called a meeting procedures document. And what this does is it just standardizes for a couple of things, like, for example, public comment. We really have just kind of had unwritten rules in the past on what is public comment, what can or cannot do during public comment. And this really kind of solidifies what those rules look like, so that members of the public, if they want to talk to the MCC or any of other committees, know what they can and can't do, and not have to worry or wonder as they get to a meeting, will they be able to have any handouts? Will they be able to have any visuals? Can they cede their time? The answer to all of that is no, by the way. But it just clarifies that, because sometimes you might have someone who's like, well, I just want to cede my 3 minutes to another person, and now that one person is speaking for 15 minutes. And examples like that. It also kind of clarifies the updating process for the bylaws. Right now, a lot of our committees, it is actually harder to change the committee bylaws than it is the board of directors bylaws, because of the 30-day wait period in between the introduction to adoption. And so it kind of clarifies some of those things. It also clarifies membership in a lot of places. And then with the MCC, we've got the original updates that were drafted about 2 years ago, because I know they were coming as I was coming on board. But that's kind of the highlights of what we can likely expect. Like I said, it doesn't really change a whole lot in terms of how we've been operating. It just kind of codifies how we operate.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Well, then we will move on to the care pool update.
Good morning. Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, my name is Jody Barker, and I am the director of the Pikes Peak Area Agency on Aging. And for the services that we contract with outside house, we do go through an RFP process, a request for proposals process. And we work on a 2-year contract cycle. So this spring was time for that opportunity again to submit for RFPs for contracting with us with our Older Americans Act and Older Coloradans Act funding. We had opportunity to hear presentation and through the RFP process with an organization called CarePool. And looking at opportunities to expand the type of transportation we're able to provide our older adults, especially when it comes to cross-county or cross-regional medical or non-emergent medical type transportation needs. And so we went through our process that we do for determining contractors for our 2-year process. We were able to contract with CarePool. However, it's going to look a little bit different than our traditional contracting with providers process. We're going to be working from a pilot method across all 3 counties. And very likely managing this across all 3 counties in a voucher scenario, which for us, that simply is an opportunity to use the funds a little bit differently than directly with the provider. So there's a lot of details yet to be worked out. However, for an example, we contract in Park County with the Park County Senior Coalition, and they are able to provide transportation vouchers in what we affectionately call neighbor-to-neighbor services. Within the Older Americans Act and Older Coloradans Act, that is what's called a client-directed service. And so client Mrs. Smith can ask her neighbor or friend, family member to give them a ride to their doctor's appointment. And for those of you who may be familiar with Park County, there are no services and no doctor's offices within Park County. Those kind of visits are outside of Park County, whether that's Woodland Park, Colorado Springs, Denver, Breckenridge or Summit County, or over into Chaffee County, the Canyon City, Buena Vista area. And so that person receives a voucher for taking their friend, Mrs. Smith, to the doctor's appointment. And then they redeem that voucher for mileage reimbursement. In this case, we will be looking to expand that opportunity. And it really just gives each county provider an additional option for their client base to receive other transportation services, especially if they are not able to secure a friend or family member to take them outside of the county or cross county lines. The beauty of this is that this will be under contract with the organization CarePool to provide these services, and it provides, like I said, another option for clients to get to doctor's appointments and other non-emergency transportation. We have 2 providers that we work with in Teller County, the Community of Caring at the Aspen Mine Center over in Cripple Creek, and we also work with the folks. I see Kathy Lowry here on the call today with Teller Senior Coalition, and they'll be taking the lead for this pilot, managing this as we get all the details worked out, managing this for Teller County. And then our anticipation is that we will manage here at PPAAA the voucher program as part of our direct services outreach here in our office for El Paso County. There are a lot of challenges, we know, and we're hoping that this may be an option for us to be able to provide yet another option for clients who are challenged in that transportation. As you all very well know, there is that gap in services. If someone switches from Medicaid to Medicare, suddenly they don't have some of the services available to them. And we do hope that this is yet another option for our client base to get those services. So more to come. We've just solidified some of the contracting process. We're getting them ramped up in our internal tracking systems. We'll be doing some training, and then we'll be working with our providers to establish this pilot. And so hopefully in a few months we'll be able to come back and give an update how it's going. And of course, the beauty of the pilot is we can learn from what we're doing, figure out what needs to be adjusted, and hopefully serve our clients better than before. We've also had some conversation with providers who may be interested in changing up some of what they do to adjust some of their services. So again, we really see this as a win-win-win across the board and across all three counties for our over 60 client base. So more to come. Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate it. And just so you know, I do have to jump off for a 10 a.m. meeting, but I'd like to stay on and listen a little bit more. So I'm open to questions, although I may not have a whole lot of answers yet, but we're very happy to come back and present again once our pilot gets kicked off.
Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Does anyone have any questions for Jody? Okay. All right. Well, more to come. We're excited. Just the next two pieces we'll just kind of go through quickly. We are continuing to seek a second vice chair, just so you know. And if you are interested in said position, we would be happy to discuss the opportunity with you and send you kind of an overview of what those responsibilities would entail. So if that is something that piques your interest, please feel free to reach out. We are always happy to have folks join us. The CASTA conference is November. I'm already jumping ahead. October 7th through the 11th. Very exciting opportunity. Can somebody remind me where that CASTA conference is? Because I know it changes between the fall and the spring.
Telluride.
Fantastic. All right. So Telluride, great place. A little bit of a hike from Colorado Springs, but well worth the drive. So if you are interested, please feel free to check it out. It should be amazing. And then one of my favorite events, Driver Appreciation, is coming up in December. Just to kind of keep it on your calendar. We always have such a fun time celebrating our amazing drivers who make all of the magic happen for all of us and all of the community members that they serve. So super excited about that. Any information sharing, any agency or individual want to share out some information that's happening in their neck of the woods?
This is Jacob Matson with Mount Metro Transit. Just letting everyone know we're kind of in the tail end process of the public outreach for our service change coming up for the fall. So we will be announcing this Friday what those changes are. Sneak peek, it's basically what we put out before in our proposal. So we're looking at taking the route 18, running that an extra 3 hours into the evening. That one currently ends in the 6 o'clock hour. So looking to run that kind of similar to the rest of our system. And for those that are unaware, our route 18 is kind of our Union corridor, connecting up kind of Union, if you would look at it going all the way up to Academy and then coming south now down to kind of Lake Ave area. So that's going to be extending 3 hours. Our routes 19 and 39 will be extending 1 more hour. Once again, kind of keeping them in line with the rest of the services. And then we made some time point adjustments to our Route 24, so the connection with Route 23 is better. So that's kind of what we're looking to do for this fall. We'll be making that announcement later this week. And as I'm talking, I literally got the sign-off sheet for our outreach. Literally slid under my door as I was talking. So thank you all.
I love that. How fortuitous. All right. Thank you so much, Jacob. That's very helpful information. Anyone else have anything else they'd like to share out? Okay. Kind of a quiet group this morning. Maybe we need one more cup of coffee. That's totally fine. All right, well then we will move on to item number 9. So super excited to announce that September, fingers crossed, God willing, and the creek don't rise, we will all be able to meet in person at the main office building. And it would be wonderful if we could have a potluck just to kind of celebrate, get together, have some good old fellowship, and enjoy each other's company as we move into the fall season. So more to come on that. Super, super excited to be able to see everybody's smiling faces once again. Anything else? Jared or Melissa, am I missing anything else? No? Okay. Well, if no one has anything else to add, then I will give you all back the gift of time and adjourn the meeting. Anyone else? Going once, going twice? Okay. All right. Well, oh, there's Kristen. Hi, Kristen. Do you have anything else you wanted to add, or you were just coming on the camera?
Just coming on to say bye. I was here the whole time.
No, I knew you were. I was just like, oh, no. I see Kristen's smiling face.
I know
maybe she has something she wants to share.
I was paying attention the whole time. That's what I was saying. Yeah.
I know you always are. You're very dedicated.
I appreciate the updates. I've been a little out of the loop, but you guys do a great job, everyone.
Oh, good. Good. All right, well then we will see everybody live and in person with some delicious food in September. So this meeting is now adjourned at 9:57 a.m. So have a wonderful fall. You all be safe, be well, and we will see you soon.